You're once again joining us at the news desk of the Micro Mini Lightning Newscast, where today we're asking the question, do you have the power? And as always, I'm joined by my fellow newscaster.
This is Eric.
And Eric, today you're out in the field in a little town called Eternia. My bad. I mispronounced that. Anybody from Eternia, don't get mad. Don't come after me. But Eric, what do you see around you right now?
I see fields of green, beasts of all shapes and sizes, and a castle?
That's right. You are standing next to historic Gray Skull Castle, where the historical documents tell us of a man who wielded a sword against a skeleton man.
Skeleton man, yes.
Yes. Some might call him a zombie, but a skeleton man and his army of evil to defend Eternia from the multiple attempts to take it over. And as always, we are going to talk about Eric, what are we talking about? What mystical land are we talking about here? What is this from?
This is from the universe of He-Man, Masters of the Universe. So like He-Man, its universe is the master of all universes. So that tells you the scope of what we're dealing with here.
That's right. And as always, we're the only reporters that are able to handle that scope and bring it to you in its entirety. But as always, since it is a Micro Mini Lightning Newscast, we have 10 minutes to do it. 10 minutes to bring you the news you can use about Eternia and He-Man, the Master of the Universe. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Eric, what's our first thing about He-Man? What's the most recent news?
Well, according to my sources, Netflix is creating a new He-Man series.
Wow. Who's doing it?
The incomparable director, Kevin Smith.
That's right. We have unearthed information from our sources that has told us that Kevin Smith is doing a new He-Man story called Masters of the Universe Revelation. It is talking about the end times of Eternia and what is going to happen. The rapture will, of course, happen in Eternia, and everyone leaves. So thanks for that story, Kevin. No, I mean this is something actually I'm very excited about. I was reading the article earlier. So we have Kevin Smith, who many know from, and what kind of things is Kevin? I guess he's most famous for his Clerks.
Yeah,
Mallrats. Just
it's very 90s.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those 90 references. I know he's doing a new movie with that Jay and Silent Bob again.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I don't remember what it's about. But yeah, I remember seeing an article on that.
Well, I think it's just them making fun of themselves. I mean, I think it's supposed to be lampooning reboots. It's Jay and Silent Bob get rebooted or whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
And so they're lampooning reboots. But he is doing this series in kind of an anime style, where it's going to pick up the story where we left off in the original Masters of the Universe, which, Eric, you're going to have to help us remember where we left off.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Our great historian, Eric, who knows all things.
No, I'm not picking up that gauntlet. I remember, so...
I'm not going to do that to you.
Masters of the Universe started in September of 1983, beginning of September.
How many seasons were there?
2.
And how many episodes?
130.
Well, that's right.
So the season ran from about the beginning of September to the first week of December in season 1, and I think the same in season 2. So that is 65 episodes in September, October, and November, pretty much. They ran multiple episodes per week, 3 to 5. It looks like.
Yeah.
So Think about coming home after school every day to a new episode of your favorite cartoon.
Man, those were the glory days.
I mean, yeah, you don't get that nowadays. That's not something. I mean, yes, He-Man had a lot of reused backgrounds, and the running animations they used was, pretty ugly.
Right. I mean, what was the tiger's name? Warcat or
Warcat? Yeah, it's Warcat's when he's in his form. Cringer is when Cringer's when he's in his
Battle Cat.
Battle. You're right. Battle. I feel so bad for not knowing that.
Well, I do too. You know what happened is we're live, and I saw the microphone in my face, and I kind of stoved up there for a minute. But yeah, Battle Cat running was pretty much the same footage over and over again.
Yes.
I remember many scenes where Battle Cat jumped down rocks to get to the bottom of a pit.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of stuff. Eternia was riddled with pits.
Caves and pits. Yes. So, I mean, they reused a lot of backgrounds, but that was the style in the 80s. So I was born in 79. It started when I was 4, ended when I was 6. So I don't have a tremendous amount of memories of He-Man. I know my brother, who is 4 years older than I am, he was very, very much into He-Man. He dressed up in Halloween as He-Man, which I later got that costume and dressed up like a year or two later as He-Man, or maybe the next year. And I remember that I remember having the He-Man sword for a decade, that plastic one.
Yeah.
That there was a sword.
And if you want to hear more about that, I think we talked about that on the Halloween episode.
We did.
Because we talked about, I had that same mask that you couldn't see through.
Yeah, like cut into your eyelids.
Yeah, you and I talked about this.
You squinted constantly just to have padding.
But let's go back to this story about what Kevin Smith's doing, because it's being done by Powerhouse Animation, who I'm not sure what else they have done, but from the article I've read, that it seems like they are very good at what they do. If the image on the article is any indication, it's going to look beautiful. He also says it's going to be done in anime style, but another big thing is that it's picking up the story. He says where the show left off, it's going to wrap up a few loose ends, and he says it may be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor. It's what every young viewer wanted to see back in the day. This is what we wanted. We wanted a
victory,
a battle
victory.
Yeah, a battle that wrapped it all up. And this is what we're finally getting. I'm very excited about this. I think it can be very well done. I mean, Eric, did you watch a lot of He-Man?
I did watch He-Man. I remember. Yeah, I remember because my brother was into it. We had the figurines, the action figures.
Did you have Stinkor?
I did not have. I don't remember having Stinkor. I knew I had Battle Cat, and I had He-Man, and the one that switches his head around.
Many Faces.
Many Faces. All the names in He-Man are like the sword in He-Man, just called the Power Sword, right? That's what's called the Power Sword.
I think so.
It doesn't have a name of any like. It's Power Sword. A Skeletor is a skeleton. Skeletor, a great man who is a guy. He-Man. So the names are very, very reflective of what they are. And that's always interests me. No, I did not have Stinkor. Did you have Stinkor, sir?
Buddy, I had Stinkor. Stinkor came with, his power. Some toys you get have like the little chopping motion that they'll do.
Yeah.
Or some you can spin their face around. He came with, his special power was stink. It was stink. We found it in my attic and it still stank.
What was on it?
Patchouli oil.
Wow.
From what I read. But there's a lot to be excited about here. I mean, information is still coming out. There'll be, I know they've listed some of the names. The series will be produced by Mattel Television. Do we have any voice actors mentioning? Or we have some writers there.
Yeah, we have a team. So obviously Powerhouse Animation, they do Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, they are going to, they understand how to get
beautifully
that,
animated show.
the darkness of Castle Grayskull. Even though Grayskull is a good place, it always looked like a bad guy place. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
The bad guy place had a big snake coming out of it.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I haven't seen any voice actors listed here. It would be interesting since Netflix is the main funding and where they're going to show it. It might be a good idea to look at some of their top animation holdings that they created and see if they're going to use some of the same voice actors. But
well, I'm looking up here. I see that the original He-Man voice actor was named John Irwin. He is 82 now.
That's still within voice acting. I mean, as long as he hasn't smoked a lot, he should be fine.
You think he could still do the voice?
I think so. I mean, that doesn't 82.
I have the power.
I wonder if the scream could hit. If he's an active John Irwin, to see if have you looked at his credentials, see if he's doing anything?
I have not. But while you're looking that up, we are running low on time here. We're going to have to go a little over because we have something else we need to talk about when we're talking about our good friend He-Man. There is a new comic book series coming out called The Masters of the Multiverse.
Yes.
This is very exciting. It's being done by a joint operation between Mattel and DC Comics, our good friends at DC, friends of the show.
Friends of the show, yeah.
It's being written by Tim Seeley with art drawn by Dan Fraga and Richard Friend. And so this storyline is going to involve multiple He-Men from different multiverses all coming together to try to fight an evil. And they may have to even get some help from, it says, Skeletor.
So is this He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse then?
Yes,
okay.
That's what it's called.
That's what Masters of the
Multiverse.
I just make sure I got that.
Now, here's the exciting bit about this, Eric. Will we get, now I'm asking you this in all sincerity, will we get the definitive He-Man back in this one? Dolph Lundgren He-Man. The definitive one.
He is the definitive He-Man. That movie currently is on Amazon Prime to watch for free if you have Prime. I don't know why, but we can only hope. I mean,
it's a classic.
Prayers are answered sometimes, so we can hope that the studio lords above us have decided to bring the definitive He-Man back. Oh, and who was that? It was the John Irwin voiced He-Man for Family Guy in 2005.
Oh, okay.
So, well, that's still like 14 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, he can break out the old voice. I wonder, who did the Geico commercial that was?
There was a Geico commercial?
Yeah, you didn't see that Geico commercial?
I don't watch a lot of TV.
We will have to watch the Geico commercial after this.
Okay.
But that new comic book, it's going to be a six issue thing. It starts off, its debut one comes out November 20th with a 32-page debut issue.
Cool.
So be sure to look for that in your comic book section wherever you go and buy your comic books. At your local Kroger's.
Does Kroger have comic books?
I don't know if Kroger even is around anymore.
I don't have a clue. It's in the north.
Or Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly, yeah.
Or I don't know where else you get them.
I mean, I don't have a clue.
Eric, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Well, you can get us on the internet.
The Masters of the Podcast.
Masters of the Podcast Universe. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Just search for Pull Up a Chair Podcast. On Twitter, it is at Pull Up a Chair Pod. You can tweet at us all you want. Tell us your favorite He-Man character and or He-Man scent.
Patchouli.
If patchouli is your thing, tell us all about it. Also, you can find us pretty much on every podcasting app. I don't know where you're listening to us now, but you can find us on all the other ones. All right, and that's about it.
Well, thank you once again for joining us here at the only micro mini lightning newscast desk where you get news you can use. News brought to your doorstep. Have yourself a great day.